Spin Share Podcast with Ryan and Ice. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ice.
All right.
Oh, you scared me, man.
I scared you the last time we did it, too.
Yeah, caught me by surprise.
You were like, whoa.
Oh, okay. I guess we're going.
Okay. Well, that only took us 30 minutes to set this up.
That's fine.
We keep dancing around software, and software keeps changing on a daily basis.
Very true.
Just a little plug here, but we use Studio One to record our podcasts. And pretty much everything we do together. And I enjoy it quite a bit. But Matt, he keeps dancing back and forth between...
I haven't used Logic in a while.
And I understand, like, there's certain projects you have Logic and you use it because other guys are either using it and they send you maybe a Logic session or something. Yeah,
but honestly, I think unless someone sends me a Logic session from now on, I'm just going to record in Studio One and export to stems because it's... I hate to say it, but there's maybe like two things in Logic that I like, but you know the thing that bugs me the most about Logic, and I cannot figure out why it happens, and I know that it's not on my end. I know it's not user error. Is like sometimes when you want to, like, let's say I have like 12 drum tracks, but then I want to add like a tambo track or like a shaker, a shaker, right? You have like, you've selected your last track of that 12, right?
Right.
And so then you go up to add mono track. It should put it right there, like track 13.
Yeah, if you have a track selected, it should be after the track.
But in the mixer, and it'll do that like up in the
editor?
Up in the editor, it puts it there. But in the mixer window, it just puts it wherever the hell it wants to put it. It'll just plop it like right down in the middle of your 12 drum tracks, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why it does that. It does it every time without fail.
Yep. That's one of several little illogical or unlogical.
Which it should be logical because the program is called Logic.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, there are many things just like that particular one, which is that little thing has existed for quite a while. And there could be like a weird like hotkey that you hold when you add that it actually puts it in the location you want, but by default it should work like just about every other DAW does when you add a track. And
I guess the thing that confuses me is that it's inconsistent. If it's going to put it at the end in the editor window, why is the fader just wherever it wants to be in the mixer window?
Yeah, it's completely disconnected.
Yeah, they should correspond.
Yes.
But they don't.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So, it's been, we didn't get this one out in January.
No, well, that's all right. I mean, but the first January one was like halfway through January already, so.
That's true.
We kind of ran out of time. But here it is. It's February 1st, baby.
Yeah, February 1st. We're on it. So then we should be able to get a second one down.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too bad.
Oh my God. So where we left off with the last one, we're talking about like the list of things that you would like to see kind of you not maybe necessarily accomplish as much as just aim for or strive for, right?
Yeah, I mean, some things were like, I would like to be able to do this at the end of 90 days. And others were like, maybe the end of the year.
Right.
I can tell you, there's one thing I'm kind of excited about. And I have been lifting weights pretty seriously almost every day. I think I've only missed maybe 2 or 3 days in the time that we've talked. But like, I've been focusing on basically 3 lifts, which are the things I talked about, but bench press, deadlift, and some sort of pull up or chin up. And the thing that I'm kind of stoked about is when it comes to chin ups, I'm to a point to where like, instead of jumping into them to get them started, I can basically just kind of do a little tiptoe boost
Oh, okay.
and get them started. And once I get all the way up, I can do the eccentric motion really slow.
Oh, good.
Which, you know, I've watched a lot of fitness videos and read a lot, and like pull-ups and things like that are like hard. They're hard to do without doing them. You know, you can use resistant bands as assistants, and you can use like the weighted chin-up machine at the gym or whatever, but none of that really mimics what it's actually like. Like it'll get you close, and it can help develop those muscles.
Right.
But one of the best things that I've read consistently to do is like, even if you can't do the first part of getting yourself up, if you have a chair or whatever where you can start at the top and do the eccentric motion, like the descending part, and try and make it as slow as possible, that helps build those muscles.
Huh.
Kind of like if you try and do a static hold, but like not a hanging static hold, but actually like a flexed, contracted static hold. So I can do that like 2 or 3 times where I can just little tiptoe boosts and I pull myself up the rest of the way. And then I try and do the descending part as slow as possible. And then after about the third time, I'm pretty spent.
The third one, your muscles are pretty baked.
Yeah. But like to me, that's progress. And I'm not trying to do that at the end of 90 days. That's like, if I can get 3 to 5 pull-ups unassisted by the end of the year, I'll be happy. That's all I want, man.
Well, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you're making some decent progress.
Yeah, not too bad.
That's good. Because last time you had a little hop, a little get up.
Oh yeah, I had to like jump into it pretty hard. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, man. But I talked forever on the last episode, so let's talk about, dude. Yeah, I mean, it was all me the whole time. This was you. You're like, oh yeah. Oh right, yeah, right. Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a good listener.
What can you say? Because I'm talking the whole damn time.
I couldn't say a thing. No. So I have some similar things, right? The health stuff. It's been really hard, man. This winter, every winter is really difficult for me. I find that I get sick really, really easily every winter. I think ever since you've known me, every winter I have something that really hits me, and it like knocks the air completely out of me for like at least 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and that's always tough. Plus, this time of year, the days are shorter. You don't, if it's cold, you don't feel like going outside. So then if you add sickness on top of that, it can make it tough.
It's been really hard. Like that part of it's been really hard because we've been sick with just the weirdest bugs. Some of it's like pretty short, like maybe 24 hours, 48 hours. This last one, the everybody went through except for me, but I think I actually got it because my stomach hurt real bad. And I was talking to you about all that.
Yeah.
I think I actually got it. I just wasn't vomiting every hour like the rest of my family was for 12 hours.
Yeah.
But I started feeling bad yesterday again, and like today I'm better today. Like I don't have a raging headache like I did yesterday. And it was one of them weird sick headaches, kind of like in this area, and then it kind of make you feel a little bit queasy, and like the lower part of your back starts to ache.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that makes me think, when that kind of stuff happens, makes me think dehydration.
Sure.
Because I think it's something with the kidneys maybe, or like something. It just feels like I'm dried out or something.
I mean, that's kind of how I was feeling last.
Yeah.
Well, almost 2 weeks ago now, but yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't last very long, but it
5 days. It was long enough.
Oh, I was thinking that maybe the other one that was a little sooner than.
No, I was straight pee pooping for like 5 days.
That's right. That's right.
It was terrible. Yeah. Good share.
I haven't had any of that happening.
Yeah.
But what I did do yesterday, though, as soon as I woke up and as soon as I was like, oh, this is more than just a headache. I feel like this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
this is a bunch of sick. I when I was feeling like I could like consume something, I got 2 of those emergency packets, which are 1,000 milligrams each, and I dumped them in my
Shaker bottle.
my shaker bottle.
Yeah.
And I freaking downed 2,000 milligrams of vitamin
Nice.
C, and then had a 10,000 international units of vitamin D, and then
I thought you were going to say that I had 10,000 calories. I was really hungry.
I was starving. I wanted to throw up so bad. Anyway, so then I had zinc. I took a bunch of zinc.
Yeah.
And then right before I went to bed, I took some of those the chewable airborne vitamin C things.
Oh, yeah.
Another 1,000 milligrams. So it's 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C yesterday,
Good
which
Lord, dude.
it's very, 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 very difficult to OD on vitamin C.
Sure.
Because you pee the majority
Yeah.
of it out that doesn't get absorbed.
Yeah.
And but I noticed that I wasn't really peeing that much of it out, even this morning. And
Really?
Yeah. But the one thing it will do is it will evacuate your bowels.
Nice.
Like a lot of it, which didn't happen, and it doesn't normally happen with me. Like I've had up to 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C in a 24-hour period, and still didn't make me give me the runs or anything.
Oh, wow.
But my intestines are of a different pedigree than yours.
I guess, man. Good Lord.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Like I'm one of these guys that can like not have to number 2 for
Yeah,
3 days.
I don't know how. I mean, dude, I'm so regular. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm on a walk, and I already got rid of part of old me, and
Dude, it's usually
I gotta get back to the house."
it's usually here's how it goes. Pretty close to first thing in the morning when I wake up. That's one. And then when I was running every morning after I would drop Ethan off, it would be like I would do a run for an hour and then come home and have to go again.
That's
And
crazy.
then I would walk Lloyd, and usually I probably wouldn't do it the rest of the day. Lately, it's been, since I haven't been running, it's been very weird because it's been like I'll go first thing in the morning. I take Ethan, I come back home and get ready to walk Lloyd or lift, whatever I'm doing first.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to do it again, like half an hour after my first one.
God, dude, I don't.
And then I'm good.
There would be nothing left of me.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's just because my protein intake is so high or what.
Yeah, that could be.
And I think one thing that's made it better, I mean, the fact that I'm so regular lately has been I've incorporated Greek yogurt a lot more into my day as a like a protein snack.
There's some really good bacteria in that.
I think it's just like, yeah, let's get this crap out of here, literally.
Let's literally get this crap out of here, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
Let's
so
get
glad.
this crap out of here. It's stinking up the place. My friends call me Jerry. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just getting it done.
Anyway, I can't believe we're talking about this. But man, so let's talk about your goals. Remind me, I have a shout out I want to say at the end of this podcast.
Okay. I'll try to.
But I don't want to do it now because I know that once I say it, we're going to go off on a tangent about that. And I don't want to distract you from getting to your points.
It could be fun, though.
Well, I mean, you want me to just say it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to a company that we both love, but I finally put some of my own money into.
Oh, yeah.
That's a company called Warm Audio.
You invested in Worm?
Well, I mean, I bought those. I bought those overheads.
I thought I was getting excited for a second.
No.
What did you do?
Yeah, I gave him $50. I said, "Here, I'm investing in your company." No, I just meant like, you've had a bunch of their microphones, and you gave me a bunch of stuff when I came up at Christmas to borrow, and one of them was the 414 clone. Yep. But I had borrowed a pair of their WA-84s all last year from a buddy and fell in love with them for drum overheads. So,
dude, they sound so freaking good.
I finally bought my own pair, and I couldn't be happier. It's crazy when I went back to what I had been using before. Those microphones sounded good, but I was like, wow, I forgot. I forgot that what they sounded like because I got so used to the 84s, and the 84s just sounded so much better.
Dude.
But all that to say, like, you're using a warm audio mic right now. I'm using one right now. You have several. I've got another pair over there. Like, they're a really great company. They're making great stuff at a really like prices that people like me can afford. Yeah. And still get amazing sounding tracks.
That's the key. It's like they're really super duper budget friendly, but they're not like, it's not like you're like the comparison is that 414. If you were to buy, which you can't because they don't, AKG.
I mean, you can find it used, but you're going to pay like $6,000 for it.
Yeah. So $6,000 versus, I think that one was what, $600?
Dude, I think they sell for $399.
Yeah. Okay. So 400. So 450 at the most, right? And the thing is, you're not getting, what would that be? $5,500 less of a microphone?
Yeah. I mean, does it sound exactly like a late 70s brass capsule 414? Probably not. But can you hear $5,000 worth of difference? No.
But the
not
other
at
thing,
all.
Honestly, man, like if I had my options and somebody had one of the original 414s or one of the warm audios, I'd pick a warm audio over the original only because the warm audio, even though it may not sound exactly the same, the longevity of that microphone is going to be outlast the AKG because of the PVC degradation with oxidization, being oxidized. God damn. Anyway, people, I don't think people understand, like PVC capsules have a limited lifetime. Like they degrade over time because of oxygen causing oxidation on the PVC itself, and it basically deteriorates. So buy warm audio. Did I mention that I wasn't feeling well?
Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out, man. Like, I know it's a company, they make products that we're both really passionate about. So they make
fantastic microphones. They make stellar pre's.
Yeah. I'm really jealous of you too, because you have one of the original 87s, which I'm sure sonically the new ones don't sound any different, but yours actually, that's before they got hit with like the cease and desist. So yours actually looks like an 87.
It does. The grill looks, it does. It has the form factor of original U87 from Neumann, but Neumann was not, they were not what was it that you should be, if somebody copies you, you should be not offended, but
flattered. Flattered, yeah.
They were not flattered.
They were not flattered.
You know, what is it?
They said WTF, why the flattery?
I think Steve Jobs said it best. What is it? The saying is, imitation is the sincerest form of copyright infringement.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Yeah. So as far as back on my deal with my list of things to do, being with health, it's been kind of a struggle because of the weather. And honestly, man, the northern hemisphere up here sucks because the sun during the wintertime just doesn't get quite as high. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but during the winter, like when the sun is it's at its lowest, and around that time, weeks around that time, like you could go outside for 2 hours without a shirt on if you could stand the cold and never get a sunburn. You'd
Right.
never get a sunburn
Yeah.
because the sun is so low that the UV rays can't make it through all the atmosphere to get to your skin. And why is that relevant? Because vitamin D, and they've done studies on this in between the two hemispheres there here in the US. And I don't remember where the line is, but it's like right there close to Nashville, and it goes up just slightly up into North Carolina, the southern part of North Carolina. But they have studies that show that people that live above the line chronically get more sick with like the average cold and flu and all that stuff way more than people that live below the line.
Interesting.
Yeah, because vitamin D is like, you can take the supplements and stuff, but it's different. Like the way it's absorbed into your skin, into your fat cells, that way your body processes that in a much different way than it does with a supplement. And with a supplement, you need like maybe vitamin K also to help with the absorption or whatever, the absorption rate.
Sorry, I'm laughing about something else.
What's so funny?
I was just thinking like, well, I got a lot of fat cells, so I got a lot of vitamin D absorption.
Oh my God. So anyway, so living in the northern part of the United States, it can be tough as far as that's concerned. Now I've been taking lots and lots and lots of vitamin D because I'm already deficient in it in the first place. So living up here doesn't help much. But I do remember living in Nashville, like I would get sick during the winter, but it wasn't like as bad as like when I live up here.
Sure.
Like now that I've moved back, like every year, it's been like kind of like I've had some gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, to accomplish the things I want to do, that's made it extremely difficult. Because when you're sick, you don't want to stress your body because you don't leave it any time for repair, and you just keep wearing yourself out, and you need to have some strength to be able to recover from an illness.
Sure.
Ugh.
So, let's talk about that. What are the things you want to accomplish?
Well, I want to be able to do 15 consecutive chin-ups. Like, that's something that I want to get done. I can do 8 now, so I'm not that far off, but it's crazy. Just trying to get 10 is insane.
Yeah, you ever tried to just get one?
So that, I want to do that. I want to do 15 consecutive. But also, I want to build up a better habit of doing cardio. Like, but not anything too crazy. Just cardio. Like, brain health cardio. Not any of the other, like, people go, I cycle and I do jumping jacks and blah, 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 blah. I get good sweat on, and which is fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not my goal. My goal is to get myself to do that because it helps put my head in a better space.
Mental clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that. Now,
absolutely.
Another thing, because of the freaking temperatures, that makes it extremely tough because, like, today I can't go out and I could walk, but I'd have to be very careful because there's ice everywhere.
That's how it is here too. I haven't walked Lloyd in 3 days because it rained all day Monday.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was super cold. Today it's super cold and icy.
Right. So there's that. Right.
Yeah.
So that I also want to. I don't know why. I think that's the problem. It's a mental thing. It's hard. It's tough for me, but not for me. It's tough for everybody. But for this particular thing, it's like a negative feedback loop. So it's like, okay, let's get my head right, do the walk thing, and then I feel more motivated and better up to the rest of the tasks, right? Which one of them is I want to do 100 push-ups a day, 100 push-ups a day. And not all, don't have to be at once. I can do 25 and then do another 25 and do 25 and, whatever, do 25 nights. I can do 40 in one sitting, which is pretty good. I used to be able to do more than that, but that's where I'm at now. So, but if I can just do 100 a day and just get that going, which I've done and I've hit and missed, here and there, depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
But I want to try to get to where I'm doing a bit more structured, like this is what I'm doing, unless I really am not feeling well. And then some ab exercise. I hate sit-ups, hate them.
Yeah.
So I got to look up some other alternative thing that I could do. Maybe if I can just incorporate planking in with my push-ups.
Yeah. Dude, Monday when I went to Damon, pretty much all we did was abs the entire hour. All these different things like rollouts, static holds. And he has all these creative things he does. I texted him today and I was like, dude, it hurts when I laugh.
God.
It's awful.
See, the static holds I think would work better for me. The reason one of the reasons I don't like the setup portion is because I nearly was born with spina bifida, so I have like half a vertebrae that's just cartilage.
Yeah.
So, and it's in my lower back, and sitting up, I can feel things kind of just.
Sure.
It hurts, and it's not really like it moves around weird, and I'd rather not like put stress on that. So
Yeah.
I found that another way to do like sort of kind of an ab crunch thing. It's where I have the rope thing with the two like half ball things.
Yeah, and you bend down. Yeah.
Yeah, and I put myself in like a runner's stride stance sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the good news is it's really like using and isolating. Like you can really tighten up just your stomach muscles.
Yeah.
Now I'm using the back muscles, but the thing is, there's nothing like the floor pushing
right. Yeah.
back on my spine, so it's not nearly as uncomfortable, and that works pretty good. But I think if I can incorporate some type of static thing,
Just do lying leg raises.
laying
leg
leg raises,
where you're laying on your back.
Yep.
Keep your legs as straight as possible. And bring them up and to where like you're getting your butt off the ground. Not because if you're just flexing at the hip, you're just using your hip flexors. But if you actually get your butt off the ground to where it's like a crunch, but you're reversing the crunch.
Yep.
And then we can try and keep, obviously if you bend your legs then it's a little easier because the weight isn't as far out.
Yep.
But try and keep your legs as straight as possible. Bring them up as far as you can. Get your butt off the ground. And then lower them slowly, as slow as you can. But then never let your legs touch the ground again.
Oh, yeah.
Initiate the lift again and see how many, because I've been doing that at home. That's one of the things that I do with Damon all the time.
Uh-huh.
Bro.
No, those aren't mermaids. Mermaids are similar.
Well, kind of. When we do mermaids there, he's got like a big eye. Have I told you about those, I guess? I didn't realize that I told you about those.
You mentioned them, but I don't think you described.
He's got like a big eye beam that you put your head against and you can grab onto.
Right.
And yeah, that's kind of the same thing. But like when you're laying on the ground, then I just put my hands on the ground on either side of me. And then, but not letting your legs come all the way back to the ground.
Yeah.
Like getting them as close as possible to where it's just that much, and then you lift them back up.
Right.
Freaking hard, man. And that might be easier on your back.
Yeah, and I could probably put something like soft under that part of my back.
Yeah.
To keep it from like, hitting or a hard surface or being pushed against a hard surface. Okay, so those would work. So as far as that is concerned, and obviously lift when I feel like up to lifting. Like I feel like it's more important for me to do the cardio thing for my headspace and then do the push-up routine and like planking kind of things, and then working in the chin-ups or the pull-ups is enough. Honestly, I feel like it's enough. and it's just keeping active with it and staying with it. And then when I get bored, I'll do something a little bit different. I'll do a variation or something.
Sure.
But I think it's just the point of consistency for me. Like I was able to stay super consistent and with it for like a year and a half. Like hardcore. Like you, like getting up and doing like an hour worth of whatever the thing was.
Yeah.
And then do another 30 minutes of something else later. And then on top of that, the eating right part. The only thing I was kind of missing just a wee bit was the amount of protein intake that I was getting.
Yeah.
Like I was getting protein, but I don't think I was getting the amount that I needed. I think I was getting about half if I was lucky.
Sure.
So that's the other thing is I'm trying to up my protein. But I'm doing it carefully because I don't want to cause my kidneys any trouble or, have my liver have to process a bunch of crap that is not being utilized or. So I'm being careful with that. So next part of the thing was this project that we're working on, which came kind of out of nowhere. And it was just an idea that I had because I thought it might be fun. And so.
Which it has been.
Dude.
It has been,
It's been
man.
quite educational.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been very educational. It's been a workout on its own.
Dude, okay, I just saw this, but like yesterday, so on my Fitbit, my step goal for the day is 16,000 steps.
Uh-huh.
And normally, like, if I run, well, when I was running like 6-7 miles a day and walking Lloyd, I would hit that by the end of my walk with Lloyd. But even on days where I walk Lloyd, if we do our 3 to 4 miles, like that gives me about 8,000-9,000 steps. So I still end up hitting 16 by the end of the day. But I just realized yesterday, I didn't walk Lloyd or run or anything. And I still hit my step goal because that's how much I was working on that song. Because when I play drums, it counts that, it's sensing movement. So it starts counting the steps.
Funny.
I still ended up hitting like 17,000 steps by the end of the day. And I'm sure that at least half of that was because I just kept doing take after take after take of that song. I was getting so pissed, dude.
So about that project.
Yes. Yeah, tell people about it.
I'll try to wrap it up in a nutshell here. I just got this itch to, I kind of semi quit playing live for a little while because I got super, 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 super burnout. And it's probably the worst burnout I've ever had, honestly. I wound up selling a bunch of gear because I was burnt out and I just didn't want to look at it anymore. It reminded me of things and it wasn't good. It wasn't pleasant, so it had to go. So about 2 years later, I finally get this it's kind of an itch, I guess. Mild itch.
Yeah.
But we were kind of working on a couple little things here and there, you and I.
Sure.
Kind of like closet playing a bit. And nothing too serious. And then I was like, it'd be kind of maybe a neat, like I was watching what these other guys are doing with these acoustic shows or whatever, like quote unquote acoustic shows, right? It's just a watered down version of a band.
Right.
And especially locally. Not to say that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's not exactly an acoustic show.
Right.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because when I think of like an acoustic thing, I think of Nirvana on MTV doing that acoustic show.
Like the MTV Unplugged,
Unplugged. That's an acoustic show.
Right.
That's what that is. But anyway, so I was like, one man band kind of thing come to mind, and I was like, for some of these artists I worked for and have worked for, They incorporated a lot of production technologies, and I was in charge of the majority of it. So I was like, yeah, I know how to do all this stuff, and if I incorporate it, and my biggest thing was like, I put a lot of time, just a ton of time into other people's things, and I've never really taken and putting Jesus, I've never really taken and put much time or effort into anything that I have done. Now, that's not to say that I don't know if I'll actually follow through with pursuing this, because I still have my ups and downs, because I'm still kind of struggling with being burnout still.
Sure.
And, but there are moments where I go, man, not to say that sitting in with some of the folks around here isn't good. It isn't,
Yeah.
But there are particular disciplines that I miss, and I understand the idea, like, you have a regular job and you just want to go and kind of blow off some steam and play some music with your friends. I get the idea of that. I totally do. But the problem I have is my background. I can't enjoy it unless it's good.
Right.
I have a very difficult time with that. And some people go, well, what signifies or defines good? Well, time.
Yeah.
Time's a big one, And I'm not like a crazy Nazi. It's like everything has to be so. But it would be great if, everybody counts 4 counts evenly.
Together,
and everyone comes in on 1 together. Like, those types of things are really nice when they happen.
Which, not to sound like a jerk, but that's like a very basic
It is
skill when it comes to playing music with other people.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is exactly about the mentality. It's a weird thing, man. It's like I don't understand the mentality behind it, because some people are like, kind of scoff at it in a way, like it's beneath them to worry about where time is exactly.
Yeah, which it's just because they don't want to. People that have that attitude, it's just because they don't want to put in the. They know that it takes work.
Yeah.
Even a little thing to like self-evaluate and be like, oh man, my time or my feel could be better.
Yeah.
But I don't. I guess I'm thinking in the case of some people, like, I'm in my 50s. This is how I've done it my entire life. I don't want to learn. I don't want to have to change now.
Right.
So that I think it becomes a defense mechanism of, well, you're just being Mr. Perfect. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to figure out where the hell the downbeat is. I'm not being perfect at all. Like,
That's it. Here's how I compare like these local musicians to semi-pro musicians, because I would consider myself semi-pro.
Sure.
You're a pro musician.
I guess
you've been with National Act, and you've been doing it, and you pay your bills with it, and that's your life. So you're a professional.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know what you're doing. Now, have you learned everything? No, but you can step in practically any situation and do what's necessary and make the right choices, or at least make what you believe to be the right choices to do the gig.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that can't improvise. They get in that thing and they freeze. And I'm not saying you don't get nervous.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But you can do the job,
Yes.
Like, whenever I send you stuff, I send you the thing and I never give you direction.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I trust that what you're going to play is appropriate, and I believe what you play and you feel is what the song needs to be. And I trust in that decision.
Yeah.
But there are people that need to be pointed out what to play, how to play it, when to play it, and blah 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 blah. So this is how I've got it summed up: bowling.
Okay.
All right. So the local musicians are the guys that go to the alley on Friday, Saturday nights. They rent the shoes. They grab a plastic ball. They get their beers, and they're just throwing it down the lane. Like, they don't care if the guy that bowls semi-pro or on a league is trying to show them where to stand on what board and what to look at down the thing. They're just there to throw a fucking ball.
Yeah. That's kind of how I am when I bowl, because I don't have any other goals. I'm just doing it for fun. Yeah.
For fun. That's it.
Yeah.
But the semi-pro and the league or the pro guy, he's there because he wants to push his handicap down. Yeah, that's his objective. He wants to be better, right? So he's concentrating. You see him walk up there and he looks down at his feet because he's making sure he's standing on the right board, and people at bowl know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
To stand on the correct board, and he's trying to hit that arrow that's 12 feet out there every time and throw the same ball. But the guy that's there for fun is back there shooting the shit with his buddies, got a beer in his hand, and he's eating chicken wings.
Yeah.
And he gets up there and grabs a ball's greasy hand, and he throws the freaking thing. It slips out of his hand and lands about halfway down the lane. Go bam!
Yeah.
And they're laughing. They're having a good time. It goes in the gutter, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
That is, to me, sums up local musicians that no longer, that just show up to bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of a chance to just hang out with their buddies and play some music.
And here's the thing.
Whether or not that experience ever gets any better over time doesn't matter to them.
Here's the thing about that. That's fine. And there's a time and there's a place. That's why they have open bowling after 6 o'clock at bowling lanes. Because the serious bowlers are up there trying to do what they do, and they're trying to be as good as they can be, right? And it's repetition and practice and competing. And then after 6 o'clock, everybody can come in. Bring your kids. Throw up the bumpers. Go crazy. You wouldn't ask one of those guys to fill in for somebody on your league.
Right.
It'd be awful.
Yeah.
But with musicians, unless you're in a particular level and in a particular area, that's not the case. Like, you have a band full of reckless bowlers, and they're getting paid.
Yeah.
They're playing league. They're playing league tournaments.
Right.
They should, and they're still renting the shoes.
Yeah. Totally, man.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, I put some thought into this.
Yeah, I like that analogy, though. That's good.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I come up with was, when you're in a band and you're trying to, this goes back to time and knowing where the downbeat is and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Basic stuff that I learned in 6th grade when I started playing drums.
Right. When you're in a band where no one's paying attention to what's actually going on or organizing anything, they're just there playing songs, right? And they call it practice, not rehearsal, right? Because it isn't rehearsal. Rehearsal is an organized, structured thing that happens with a band.
Yeah.
Practice is what you do by yourself.
Right.
You shed, you work on the thing, and you learn the material. You learn at least the form and the idea or the essence of the song that you're playing, and then you bring that to rehearsal.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, practice is what you do to prepare for rehearsal, and then the rehearsal is what you do to prepare for the performance.
That's it. There is a particular hierarchy for this stuff.
Yes,
and good reason. So some of these practices, quote unquote, that I show up for, are honestly practices. Like, sometimes they're learning these songs for the first time they've ever heard them all together, which is a terrible way to learn anything. It's awful. Everybody wants to play.
Yeah.
And you can't really hear what's happening. And it's hard to chart If you're doing that, which
Right.
I am, but no one else is. They're all doing ear and memory, which
Right.
honestly, at 50, 60 years old, your memory's not quite as good as it used to be. So
Yeah.
the best thing you could do is write it down. Now, it doesn't mean you have to use it live, but use it as reference
Yeah.
during rehearsal.
I find the chart to be very useful in the sense that, like, yeah, do I want to be looking at it during a performance? No, but the physical act of listening to something and charting it, practicing it at home by myself off of my chart a few times, and then maybe using it at the beginning of rehearsal, that whole process helps me internalize the song.
Yep.
Because then I'm using all my senses that I can to remember it. Like I obviously have my ears, which are the most important. You just hear it, you start to internalize it, you remember. But like if you have a image that you can store in your brain of like the roadmap of the song,
Yeah.
you know, I don't have to have an actual physical copy there to look at. But if that is imprinted in
Right.
my brain, it just helps internalize the song.
Yeah. Especially
But why would I do that if I can just show up to practice 10 minutes late and be like, what songs are we learning? Oh, yeah. Can someone play that? And I'll plink around on my bass or whatever and figure out
yeah, we'll eat up 15 minutes.
what key we're in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, you know, if you were supposed to learn 6 songs for this rehearsal and you're going to waste 40 minutes as a group trying to learn one song. And
Absolutely.
unless you're having a 4-hour rehearsal,
Right.
you're not going to learn all the songs.
Right. So,
And I guarantee you're not going to learn them correctly.
yeah. So what basically ends up happening is this. It's as simple as this. You got 5 guys. You all say, hey, let's meet at the field at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Like, okay. What are we doing? We're going to play football. Okay. Who's bringing a ball? Oh, you bring a ball. Okay. But everybody got that memo. So everybody shows up with a ball.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, let's not use your ball. Let's use this ball. And 2 of them want to go, well, let's use my ball. So the next thing you know, you got 5 guys on the field, 3 balls. Because one guy wants to use his ball, and the other guy wants to use his ball, and another guy wants to use his ball.
Right.
And you're like, okay. So you're standing there, and all of a sudden, one of them takes off with his ball and starts running and throwing it in the air. And he catches it. He throws it in the air, and he catches it. And next thing you know, he's 50 yards away, playing by himself.
Yeah.
And the other 2 guys start running, and they're playing monkey in the middle with the other guy. And then there's a ball that just gets lost, like it's gone. And next thing you know, you're looking around. Everybody's playing football
Yeah.
or practicing football, but nothing's happening. Like
Right.
there's no teams, there's no direction on which way, what's happening as far as, am I on your team or is somebody going to be quarterback all the time or
Yeah.
no communication. And then one guy runs over to me and goes, hey man, come on, let's play. What? I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what we're playing.
Right. Right.
He's like, oh, don't worry, just have fun. What? By myself?
I could have done this at home.
Exactly.
It's not fun for me to just watch 4 other people stumble over a song
Right.
to try and figure out A, what we're playing and what I'm supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. I haven't had that experience in a long time. I have to think back to like high school probably of like a band rehearsal that went like that. Mm-hmm. But it gives me like the willies to even think of it because it's just, I remember thinking like, it's like when you're in high school with your buddies and you want to have an original band. So you like get together to like write a song, but you don't know enough yet about that process to like be productive about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, everyone just kind of plays like some riff from a song they like, but you know, the guitar player's playing, oh, I really like this song. And the bass player's like, oh, I'm really into this band. and like these things don't go together. And the singer's like over there, oh, I'm gonna write these lyrics, and, you know, but they don't know anything about like writing lyrics or a melody. Meanwhile, I'm like, man, I could have just sat at home and played drums to my favorite records because that's all this is, except the records that the guitar player and the bass player like, I don't like, and they suck at playing their parts of those records anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's terrible. And like, man, I've never had that experience here in Nashville, except for maybe the few times that the Chris Weaver band got together to write as a band.
Oh,
but a lot of that had to do with like, we didn't want to, that was like Weaver's idea. We didn't give a shit. I don't want to help you write your next crappy song.
Right.
This is just a cover band, dude. Like,
right. Yeah.
But like, if I ever, I can't imagine having an actual rehearsal like that in Nashville. Everyone on that gig would get fired.
Yeah, I never went through that either.
The artist would be like, "Yeah, none of you showed up prepared, so I'm going to get actual people that
a whole new
understand what a rehearsal is."
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So what I've been doing is the group I've been sitting in with, I've been introducing just little concepts without sounding too is the word presumptuous right?
Yeah.
Or big-headed?
Yeah, arrogant.
Arrogant. Yeah. Because that's the last thing I want to seem like I'm a know-it-all. And because I don't know it all, but I do know things. And the way I'm wired, I just think of things logically, and I like things in a logical order. Right. And they only make sense if they are in that logical order.
Sure.
So seeing as time is a problem, then I keep referring to things as, okay, there's 4 counts or there's 2 counts. And then that means whenever the next 2 counts happen, this is where you come in. This is where this happens, And, and I was telling the drummer, I said, okay, listen, through this section, keep moving your left foot, like keep the hat moving.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious that we can't lose that because these other guys have a different sense of where time is.
Right. Which, dude, that's like such a pet peeve of mine. If like everyone on a gig should have good time. Mm-hmm. Because if the drummer stops playing, you tell me you can't internalize a pulse. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
at least for 4 counts.
Time should not fall apart just because the drummer isn't playing time through a section.
Right.
Right. Maybe that's the uncool, like super schooled musician in me, but it's like, no, man, like the 3 building blocks of music are rhythm, melody, and harmony. And the first one is rhythm. And if you can't learn to play in time, then learning melody and harmony don't freaking matter.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Check out all these notes I can sing. Cool. Can you sing it in the context of a song? Well, no, I don't understand what time is. Well, then that melody you sing doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. It like time can't be like it really can't be stressed enough. Like you can be pretty limited on as a guitar player or even a piano player. You can be pretty limited on your skill set as far as like your riffing or your notation, like what you are comfortable with shapes or what you can play as far as maybe a couple scales, right?
Yeah.
But if your time is impeccable, you can stretch that shit. Like, you can take the same scale that you're routinely playing and manipulate it in time, and it sounds totally different.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've said this before, and I'm going to use a term that you hate, but just for the sake of making my point, like a really, really good, solid rhythm guitar player to me is way more valuable than like a good lead guitar player.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like,
guitar player.
Yeah. Like, I just want someone that can, like, man, if they're playing that kind of thing,
yep,
but it feels really good
and leave space.
That's way cooler than someone who can do all the squigglies and bendies.
Oh yeah.
I don't care about any of that. Like,
Because you can do that throughout the entire song. And it's never in the way.
Yeah. And it makes it easy for everyone else to play with you.
Mm-hmm. It frees them. That's what it does. It frees you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this thing I did last night because I was sitting in at a rehearsal / practice. Actually, just practice. And they play Born to Be Wild.
Mm.
And the other guitar player that usually sits in, like, he's been molded into a much worse guitar player because of being with bands like this. And we've talked about this. You sit in with poor players long enough, they drag you to their level. Like, it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to raise them. Like, it's very, very tough. They have to be cooperative and want to do it.
Right.
But anyways, like, there's this, Born to Be Wild, like, during the verse, he's basically playing a whole chord on electric guitar, which electric guitar, if you play an entire chord on an electric guitar, it's extremely overwhelming. Like, the best thing you can do with electric guitar is play like 2 notes, 3 notes max at a time. For me, it's mostly like 1 or 2 notes occasionally.
Yeah.
But Born to Be Wild, it's kind of a up song, and you get your motor running, bang, 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 right? Yeah. And then during the vocal, and on the highway, that part doesn't need any guitar. It doesn't need any fucking guitar. All it needs is a
little
scrapey scrape.
Yeah.
That's what I did, and they noticed it because there was space.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, I really like what you're playing, that guitar part. I'm like, it's not a fucking guitar part. It's just my pick scraping against my strings.
Right.
But it left room for the vocal line. The bass guitar set there. You could hear the drums clearly in between the vocal parts, the snare hit. And the guitar wasn't in the way. But then when it had that after the vocal, bum, 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 it made that bigger without making it bigger.
Right. That's approaching something with like a producer's ear as opposed to a guitar player's ear or a drummer's ear.
Yeah.
Like, you're only worried about the thing that you're doing instead of how is the overall song being presented?
Yeah, right.
Which everyone is guilty of that at some point. You go through that where, like, part of the reason I love Dave Matthews Band so much back in the day is because I really only listened to, you're hearing the song and you like the songs, but like the drums were the thing that drew me to that band in the first place.
Yeah.
You go through that phase where like you listen to a bunch of like muso type music where the appeal of the music is like how good the people are playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of times if you never grow out of that phase, then no matter what you're playing with that attitude of like, well, what I'm doing is it should be the loudest and the busiest and whatever.
Right.
It's like, no, man, you're not. First of all, anytime you're playing anything that has vocals, the vocals are the most important thing.
Yeah.
And whatever you're playing should mold around that and accentuate that and make that draw the listener's ear to that. If it's doing anything to detract from that, then you're doing it wrong.
Yep. It's about melody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Melody is king.
Like,
whenever melody is running, it is the king.
If I went out with David and played every song like I was the most important thing, I would last one gig.
Yeah.
Yep,
that'd be the end of your David Nail run.
Like, it's not about me at all, man.
Mm-mm.
It's not about anybody on that stage but David.
Right.
And
the song he's singing at that moment.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I've been doing is I've been introducing like the time thing a little bit, and that's been helpful. And surprisingly, at first, like anyone else, and I didn't expect any different, honestly, resistant. Like,
of course, yeah.
But now they're coming around a bit. I think it's not because they think the idea is good. I think it's because they're finally like some of it's clicking, like some of it's starting to make a bit sense.
Okay.
Because I did something really kind of tough, which is I pushed the number system onto a song because it was way easier to think of it that way than thinking of calling out notes or chords.
Chords, like letter chords, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of sharps and flats. And it's like B flat, okay, F sharp, now B, or whatever, C sharp, minor.
Yeah.
And, you got and then I'm like B flat minor. I'm thinking of all these like weird, and I'm like, it's a 2.
Right. Which, dude, that it's weird for me to, like, I'm so used to just hearing everybody talk numbers all the time that it's weird to think about. Like the only time I ever hear letters called out is if I'm doing a jazz gig with Reed, and like if Korn is playing bass or whoever, but it's usually Korn, and he like maybe doesn't know the tune and it's not in the real book. Reed will call out the changes, but it's letters because a lot of jazz tunes they mod to like go to the
change the
B section or whatever. So yeah, like you can't just call out numbers.
Yeah, right.
But that's really the only time. Anytime it's in a popular music setting,
numbers work every time.
It's numbers, man. Like why that isn't just a universal thing.
So the get together before this, I did the number thing, and the bass player was kind of like resistant at first because it's a whole new concept, and the dude's older.
Yeah.
But by about halfway through the song, he started just kind of, he stopped resisting, and he kind of was letting it try. And then he kind of saw the shape on the fingerboard, and he was like, oh, because, you got bass there.
Yeah.
So, 1, 2, 3 is just bang, bang, bang. And then 4, 5, 6 is bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
It's this little quadrant of fingerboard area that works the same way all the way up the board.
Yeah.
So once he kind of saw that on his finger, he's like, oh, then it was like, oh, this is okay. Numbers okay.
Yeah.
It's not so scary now.
Right.
And then yesterday was the payoff, because guess what happened? Song changed key.
Okay. Oh, you like they had to put it in a different key, you mean?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to lower it 2 tones or 2 whole steps.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is that one with the 6, 5, 4, 5, and then the 2, right? I'm like, you got it. He goes, okay. And he starts playing. They're like, no, it's in a different key. He's like, oh, shit. I said, listen, hold on.
Yeah.
Same numbers, different position on the neck. And he's like, and it just, I saw it unlock.
Yeah.
Like he goes, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't have to change the numbers. Like it all stays the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why this is not the reason, but this is a massive bonus as to why numbers are a better option.
Than
just the notes.
All that matters is like you just have to know that like you just have to know all your keys.
That's it.
On your instrument, because you know they might lay different or whatever. But as long as you know that,
yep.
Yeah, you can literally play something in any key.
Right.
You're not like, oh, this chord becomes this chord. No, man, it's you just say, well, now we're in F. Oh, okay, cool.
Right. Until you get into the discrepancies of what the root is. Which is Sweet Home Alabama.
I was just gonna say Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah. Because what's the deal? Because Ben used to talk about that all the time, and I forget which camp he's in, but
here's where I'm at with it. I believe the song is in the key of D.
Okay, so where in
it
the
would be
riff,
1-7-4 instead of a lot of guys think it's in G,
which that would be the 4 in your case.
That would be the G would be 1, C would be 4, and then 5. So it starts. Oh,
sorry, 5.
5 4 1 5 4 1 5 4 1 5 4 1. But then because it hits the F, which would be the 7 of G, but and F is not in the key signature of D. it'd be F sharp. I was in the camp of it being in the key of G for a long, long time. But I really kind of think it's in D because that F, just because of where the solo lays. But the problem is that you can get away with the solo in the key of G or in the key of D. And it's obvious that you can because the song is so, you don't know what key really to call it exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to look at that F on the bum, 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 that part.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I would think it is because of like the ending. Mm-hmm. Like how people end it down on Broadway or whatever. Like, bum, 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 like
that's because they end in D. They end in D.
Okay.
But
Pull the guitar out.
It's that F chord. That's the one thing. Like that's why I always argued. People are like, no, it's in the key of D. I'm like, listen, you've got an F, but here's the thing. There is no F. There's an F sharp in G. That's the only sharp in G.
Right.
Like there's only one sharp in G, and it's F sharp. So even F would be G. So it's a F. It's an F. It's not a 7 natural, right?
Yeah. So if it was in, hang on. If it's in, because it's just playing F, not F sharp.
It's not playing F sharp.
So it'd be like G mixolydian, which is a mode where it's just a major scale except your seventh is flatted. Yeah.
Or whatever
yeah.
they go to.
Yeah, that's how people end it. Yeah, that's how people end it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's F, C, D, which could be 7 flat, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Or what would that be? That would be 2 sharp or 3 flat. 3 flat, 7, 1.
Right.
F sharp is in the key of D minor, which is F, because there is no key of D minor. It's just F.
Right.
But it's clearly D major, the song. I mean, if you really wanted to get stupid about it, you could say the song's in F.
Okay.
Because F is 1, G is 2, but it's not major, it's a minor. Not necessarily has to be, but. And then C would be a 5, and D would be the 6.
Right.
And you could solo F major scale over that song.
That's interesting.
That's all in F. That's all F.
Right.
So that's where I'm going with it. If anybody ever asks me, I'm going to say the song's in F. For fuck you.
Oh, well, dude, I want to talk about, so that whole background thing is why you started doing this project.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which I want you to talk about, but you can edit this part out. I got to pee like a madman, so I'm going to go pee and then we'll come back.
You want me to just talk through it, or you want me to wait on you?
You can talk if you want. I'll be back. Take 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, while he's gone, the entire concept of this thing was that, I could do one-man band type thing and use the technology that I've used in the past with backing tracks and production stuff like video content on some screens, along with being able to run lighting or any other types of effects. Not that I want to go overboard with a bunch of lighting because I have no desire. But some simple things like just washes and changing the colors to, better suit maybe video backgrounds and stuff like that. And then control those lights in different sections of the song. And then adding like blackouts and things like that. And I have another really neat idea that Matt and I are gonna try to pull off, which is a phone call from Matt, like a video call, where he gets to sit in and play a song with me live while I play, but can't really do that because of the lag through internet and all this and that. Just because of that, so it would be impossible to do unless we had some type of direct connection. And at that point, he might as well come and play live. But he would have we would pre-record the phone call, the quote unquote video phone call. We would pre-record that. Matt would then play. We would have a conversation, and it would be. It would be scripted to a degree, our conversation back and forth. Then we'd play a song together in the live situation. But the key to the whole thing is that the backing tracks aren't just backing tracks. They're Matt and I doing all of the production, right?
Well, I mean, I'm just playing drums, honestly. Drums and perk. You're doing.
You got some background vocals in there.
Oh, that's true. I do. But you're doing most of the heavy lifting.
But we do all the production, and that way, if I go out and present this, it's all genuine tracked stuff that I would be able to play and do. Regardless if there are people on stage or not. That's the idea.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and you're not just like purchasing some canned karaoke tracks.
Oh yeah, right. Exactly.
Like you're doing it all yourself. You're doing your own arrangements in some cases of tunes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what I can do is manipulate sections where things are removed from the mix while I play something, or things put into the mix while I change to something else, and it can be choreographed in that way where that allows me to move and manipulate different either instruments or instrument types. Like if there's a song that has a cool bass line or something in it, then I could do the bass line and have the guitars tracked, and then have the bass line then overtaken by tracking while I take the bass off and put guitar on to do a solo section.
Right.
And all this can be timed out and then ran through. I decided that I want to go and use Studio One's show page, I think it's called. And that basically plays back all the tracking and has all the stuff where I can build the presets, and they're called patches, and also trigger any of the screen material or content that would be on the screen during that time, which so far have not wanted to go super overboard. Just want to pick out some, do some cool graphics, because I can design the graphics and motion graphics and stuff, and just things that like move, that have a different color. Yeah. That way, if I do wind up getting, my idea was like get like, the bar lights, the thin, skinny.
Yeah.
LED. Just get a couple of those to do washes, and then be able to wash color similar or contrast to what's on the screen.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then it can, cut the lights, black them out during different things, and all that stuff. But I think the video call thing.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to do that.
I think it will be so much fun. I think it would be so entertaining.
Yeah.
But we've cut. Oh my God, how many songs have we cut?
Dude, I can look. Well, no, I can't.
I can. Give me a second.
I mean, that list has got to be close to 30 songs by now.
It's a lot. There's a lot of songs. There are currently, 30. 30.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
It says 33, but I know there's 3 in here that I'm not sure,
Sure.
But like, just to give a taste of what songs we got: Against the Wind, Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Wait, I
Ain't
just
Too
want to
Proud.
say your version of Against the Wind is like bonkers. It's so good.
I think what we should do is we should play maybe parts and pieces of some of this stuff on some future episodes,
Yeah, that'd be great.
and maybe talk about like,
Yeah.
because there were some Toto songs
Oh,
here
dude. I mean,
that are they're crazy.
you know, the only I said in a text earlier today that like the one we just did was maybe the hardest song I've done for you so far, but I forgot we did Hold the Line, and Hold the Line was pretty hard. Hold the Line was pretty hard, and so was that Michael McDonald song.
Oh yeah,
I keep forgetting. Which I
Yep.
forgot. Which, of course, all three of those are Jeff Porcaro. So,
Oh shit, I didn't realize that.
yeah, that's him on that song, dude.
I didn't know he was on that song.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
But-
Well, that makes sense.
But this last one,
Never Enough by Toto.
bro,
Holy cow,
that should
dude.
be the first one we play. You know, I told Lonnie that you were doing that song as part of this project,
Yeah.
and he loves that record. But he started laughing. He's like, "That's so funny because, like, you know, people know some Toto songs, but that's not one that." He's like, "The only people that are going to know it are like the one other musician in the bar or something when you're playing it." But I was like, "Yeah, that's not really the point." Like, I think Ryan just wanted to do it because he likes that song, and I was looking at it as like a fun challenge.
Yes. It is a challenge.
Bro.
What's interesting about that song is I remember hearing that song like in other, like just overhearing it you know how you
Yeah,
hear songs in
yeah.
the background somewhere and it's like, oh yeah, I've heard that song.
Yeah.
I've heard that song. Like I didn't
Sure.
realize it was Toto. I thought
Yeah.
it was a completely different band. But what a great song. Holy
Dude.
cow. We
The
got
whole-
Ramblin' Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We've got 2 Tickets to Paradise, obviously, and then Wicked Game, which turned out
That
really
one turned
nice.
out really good. Dude, Signed, Seal, Delivered sounds really good.
Signed, Sealed, Delivered turned out really good.
Running on Empty.
Running on
sounds really
Empty
good.
was fantastic.
Yeah, dude.
That one I'm really happy.
Oh, and China Grove sounds
China
real
Grove
good.
sounds really good. Love and Happiness sounds
yeah.
really nice. All Right Now, we're working on that one.
Yeah.
That one's sounding pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, and Feels Like the First Time.
Feels Like the First Time. That one's really nice too. Sharp Dressed Man was fun.
Oh, yeah, dude. God, there's so many songs I forgot we did.
Yeah. We got Turn the Page on there.
Yeah.
What
Did you say?
else?
Yeah. Did you say Return of the Innocence?
I didn't say that. End of the Innocence.
End of the Innocence. Yeah.
Didn't mention that one. That one's on there. That one turned out really good.
Yeah.
Another one. I Can See Clearly Now.
Oh yeah. Which I
Can See
forgot we did
Clearly
that.
Now the rain is gone.
That one sounds really good too.
That song was fun, and we didn't cut it like the original.
Yeah.
It's much more upbeat.
Yeah.
There's so many more. We're working on Reeling in the Years.
Yes.
But that song is just trippy.
That song's real hard.
It is hard. And that's the thing I think we've both kind of like taken away from doing this is like Never Enough, Hold the Line. I keep forgetting. It's funny, those are all Jeff, but
Yeah.
but also the parts in them, they've cut these songs and they've made them sound so easy, but they are they're so easy to screw up. Like
Yeah.
they're very difficult to play these simple parts the way they've played them because of the way they pocket the stuff.
They just sound so effortless when they play them. And then when you go to play it, you're like, this is anything but effortless.
Oh my gosh. It's really something. I mean, it's one thing to sit down and like play to a record, and it's another thing to sit down and study what they were doing and try to then get in the head of that
Yeah.
person and understand why they did it.
Totally.
Because, well, we've had conversation, you and I, about this Earth, Wind, and Fire thing. Did you listen to that?
Well, you played it for me over the phone that one
Yeah,
day.
that's right.
Yeah.
But like September, it's still like it's a Sweet Home Alabama controversy. It's whether or not he intended to play it that way or it was an accident. Not that anything that we've cut with Toto has been accidental,
right
at all. But there has definitely been, like, one of them is Ain't Too Proud to Beg. The bass line in that song was nothing what I thought it was when I really started listening to it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Never Enough with You. You thought that the kick pattern kept going through, and I did too, until you said it didn't, and what he actually was doing was this, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's funny how
I hope my ears were pretty fatigued last night when I listened, so I hope that I wasn't just making that up, but
no, it's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's funny how,
I mean, it's hard enough even if you make that adjustment.
It is. Oh gosh, man. But it's funny how quick we are as musicians to assume.
Yeah, or it's to assume, or just there's that whole thing of like you hear something and you listen to it and you're like, oh, that's just this, and so then you go, oh, well, that's not that hard. But then when you sit down and play it, it's like, well, maybe it's not that hard to play for 4 bars, but can you play it for 2 minutes?
Oh yeah,
like,
oh my God,
and like play it consistently with the same clarity and power and control for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to those guys, like Toto was a great band for that thing, or like any Steely Dan thing where some people will accuse those bands of like, oh, they're kind of sterile, or they're like, everything is too clean. Like Toto got criticized all the time by like rock and roll writers for being like a studio band. And in Lukather's book, he's like, we never thought that was a bad thing. Like we hated that was used as like a negative term because like we worked really hard.
Yeah.
To make everything as precise as possible. We weren't trying to be some sloppy punk rock band.
Right.
But like bands like that, when you really sit down to like play, trying to think of like Kid Charlemagne by Steely Dan. Like I can sing you that groove and I can go play it. But to play it the way Bernard Purdie played it for the whole song with like just his internal dynamic control and everything, that's like something you got to sit down and work at. Mm-hmm. There's that whole like recognition of, I know what that is, I can play that. But it's like, but can you really play it? Like if you had to go play with Toto right now, are they going to turn around and be like, yeah, man? Or are they going to be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Like,
yeah.
So saying all that, I hope that what we've done actually lives up to that. Oh, and all the songs we've done, like
I feel like the majority of everything we've done feels really good, and I feel like it for sure the majority of it, right, honors the original song. But I also hear like there's these things where we introduce a little bit of ourselves in it.
I was just going to say, like, in most of the stuff we've done, you have told me even like, well, don't worry about like trying to copy exactly what so-and-so, like what the drums do. And for the most part, like I've tried to capture the essence, but like I'm going to play fills that like I would play or whatever, as long as it feels good, if it's a song. Right. There have only been, China Grove was one of them where like I liked the original drum track so much that like there were certain fills that I wanted to play. Yeah. But on those 3 Jeff Porcaro songs, the 2 Toto songs and then the 1 Mug McDonald song, the 2 Toto songs especially, it almost feels like if I do anything less than what he did, it's wrong. And I almost have this mental hang up of like, if I don't play it exactly like he played it, I'm not doing that from a place of making a musical choice. I'm doing that from a place of, because I can't physically play what he played, or I can't make it feel the way he did. And I I didn't want that to be the reason I didn't play it, which is why, like, last night I worked so hard.
Right.
And I still don't think I got anywhere close, but it's like, I didn't want to just be like, well, I'm going to play this because I'm making the choice.
Boy, it's really good, though.
In those instances, the choice was made for me if I wasn't going to play what he played. And it was just because I couldn't. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Like the guitar part at the end of that song.
Those guys like played the perfect thing. So how do you not play what they played?
That's right.
They were always about making the right musical choice. So to play anything different just seems like
shabby.
It seems blasphemous almost.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. The end of that song, Never Enough. The guitar part, simple enough, but it's so fast and so like bang, 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 bang. There's no like muddling of notes with one another.
Yeah.
And it's just
and even the
over and over and over.
Even the bass part when it's locked in with the kick. Do.
Yes.
Dude. I mean, the kick drum might as well just be triggering a bass sample. But you know, I don't know if you know this, but that's Mike Porcaro on bass. That's Jeff's brother. Oh. And Steve Porcaro was like the famous synth solo in Rosanna. Uh-huh. That's him. It was those three and then Steve Lukather and David Page. God. The original bass player was David Hungate. But I forget which record he left on, and then Mike came in. So my point was going to be like, maybe one of the reasons they are so tight, like bass and drums are so tight on that record, is that they had a natural brother thing going on. But yeah, I mean, that's
crazy. I had no idea. That part is, you got the latest version of that.
Yeah, right? I pulled it down, but I haven't loaded it up yet because I'm recording obviously in Studio One at the moment. But
correct. Right.
I can't wait to listen to it.
With that being said, did you know that Canada is south of Detroit?
Yes, I actually did know that there is a part of Canada that is.
Okay. Did you also know that 90% of Canada, of the population of Canada, live right below the line right there? I'm not reading this from anything. This is something I learned. But below the top of the, if you take the top line where Montana.
Yeah.
And you draw that straight across, right?
Sure. And
90%.
Canada dips down. Yeah.
Yes. 90% of the population live below that line.
Wow,
Canada.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like Toronto. Was it Toronto, Ontario?
Is that where Montreal is too?
Yes. Yeah.
Because then, like on the other end, out above Washington and Oregon, you've got Vancouver. But
but it's still just a little.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, 90%. Like if you look at the map and you see all the rest of those provinces of Canada, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody lives up there.
That's a good share.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Okay. How about this one?
All right.
How about this one? Did you know bats are the only mammal that can actually fly?
Wait, bats aren't a mammal, are they?
That's what it says. They're a mammal.
That's a good share. I didn't know that.
Hey, thanks for listening or watching the Good Share podcast. Hey, Ice, tell them what they can do.
Well, if you're enjoying the show, please take a minute and like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss an episode.
That's right. And if you want to know more, go to the GoodSharePodcast.com.
Say hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim!